Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. So here we have one of the text, reading comprehension text, and the directions for questions are what? Let's see that. Answer the following questions based on the information given below. Well, before we jump to the question, let's see that what the text is all about. The text begins with the idea that called a job from the American Revolution to the current war in Ukraine. A fundamental force in world politics has been revolutionary nationalism, Southern Europe in the Age of Revolution. By Maurizio Isabella examines revolutions in Southern Europe, Greece, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and elsewhere. In the 1820s, revolutions are often imagined as spontaneous popular upheavals, but these uprisings begin with local elites dissatisfied with centralized control. Educated and influential people formed secret societies, studied the constitutional models of other countries, kept up with similar events abroad, and wanted international support. Eventually, these southern European elites helped mobilize their societies into rebellion, leading to remarkably widespread public participation in a visible public sphere. That process, in some cases, spurred civil wars between supporters and opponents of change. At the core of these conflicts lay the tension between those who held a civic and constitutional view of politics and those who held a religious worldview. Backed by an established church hierarchy, the revolutions produced a set of political system that balanced the privileges of property owning elites, professional groups, and the church with the broad popular sovereignty and individual rights, a balance that characterizes many political revolutions to this day. Vienna's attempt to guarantee peace and stability across Europe, a new revolutionary movement emerged in the southern peripheries of the continent. In this groundbreaking study, Maurizio Isabella examines the historical moment in the 1820s when a series of simultaneous uprisings took the quest for constitutional government to Portugal, Spain, the Italian peninsula, Sicily, and Greece. Isabella places these events in a broader global revolutionary context and decentering conventional narratives of the origins of political modernity, reveals the existence of an original popular constitutional culture in southern Europe. Okay, so what about the second paragraph? Isabella looks at the role played by secret societies, elections, petitions, protests, and the experience of war, as well as the circulation of information and individuals across seas and borders in politicizing new sectors of society. By studying the mobilization of the army, the clergy, artisans, rural communities, and urban populations in support of against the revolutions. He shows that the uprising in the south, although their ultimate fate was determined by the intervention of more powerful foreign countries, enjoyed considerable popular support in ideologically divided societies and led to the introduction of constitutions. Isabella argues that these movements informed the political life of Portugal and Spain for many decades and helped to forge a long lasting revolutionary tradition in the Italian peninsula. The liberalism that emerged as a popular political force across southern Europe he contains was distinct from French and British varieties. Throughout the book, Isabella contains that revolutions in southern Europe were part of the same global crisis of sovereignty as other revolutions throughout the Atlantic world. Thus, or therefore, rather than treating them as minor events, as other studies of the age of revolutions have done, Isabella offers a detailed and incisive analysis of the revolutions and the people who drove them. That point is also critical. Isabella does not focus exclusively on theoretical debates, but rather seeks to explore how the population at large experienced constitutions and revolutions. Critically, these revolutions politicized new sectors of society, generated unprecedented quantities of printed material, and fostered the discussion of novel ideas and experimentation with practices such as elections. Well, we have just understood the passage. Let's look at the each of the paragraph and what does they point out. Now, looking at this passage, the passage consists of three paragraphs. The first paragraph indicated about what? Now, it introduces the concept of what? You can say that revolutionary nationalism and its role in world politics from the American Revolution to the current conflict in, you can say that, Ukraine, isn't it? So, and then after it is stated about what? It is stated about it then narrows down to the focus of the book, which is known as a Southern Europe in the Age of Revolution, isn't it? So, Southern Europe in the Age of Revolution, by whom Maurizio Isabella examines what or explores revolutions in Southern Europe during the 1820s, isn't it? So 1820s. So then after it is stated, the paragraph outlines the initial stage of these revolutions, noting that they begin with local elites who were dissatisfied with the centralized control, and these elites were instrumental in mobilizing society. And finally, you can say that what led to widespread public participation and conflicts between supporters and opponents of change, isn't it? So that's what it is indicated. So in the first paragraph, so you can say that the author's tone and style in this first paragraph is nothing but you can say analytical one and informative too. At the same time, the style of the first paragraph is pointed about expository and descriptive, providing background information on the subject. So, if you look at the means the main idea from the first paragraph, we can draw that the main argument is that revolutionary nationalism, revolutionary nationalism a significant force in world politics, manifested prominently in Southern Europe during the 1820s, isn't it? 1820s. So, beginning with the dissatisfied elites and leading to extensive public involvement and conflict. Similar to that, if you go to the second paragraph describes how the revolutions in Southern Europe were part of a broader global revolutionary context, isn't it? So then it is emphasizes the role of Maurizio Isabella's study in revealing an original popular constitutional culture, isn't it? So, and then it is stated about what? In southern Europe, it also discusses the methods and tools used in this revolution, such as secret societies, right? So, secret societies, and you can also talk about petitions, elections, and the circulation of information. The paragraph highlights that these revolutions, despite being influenced by foreign intervention, had substantial popular support and led to the introduction of what? Constitution, isn't it? Introduction of constitution. So that's what it is appointed. Uh, then we talk about the third paragraph. So the third paragraph, you can say that continues by emphasizing Isabella's broader analysis of Southern Europe's European revolutions, comparing them with the other revolutionary movement of the time. It argues that Isabella's study treats these revolutions not as a, you can say that a minor events, but as integral parts of a global revolutionary crisis. The paragraph also note that Isabella's focus is not solely on theoretical debates, but on the practical experiences of the population during this revolution. It highlights the importance of these revolutions in politicizing new sectors of society, and fostering new political practices, isn't it? So, all total, if you look at the second paragraph and third paragraph, so that discusses the revolutions in Southern Europe were part of a global crisis of sovereignty and were significant in shaping political life in the region, isn't it? So, Isabella's study provides a detailed analysis of these revolutions, showing their impact and the unique nature of liberalism in Southern Europe. So here also, if you see that the tone can be find out that again analytical, right, or and scholarly, And it is again, you can say that a detailed and contextual presented in a broad overview of the study's focus. Simultaneously, if I talk about the third paragraph pointed about critical and evaluative in nature, or you can say the tone can be called as a critical or evaluative. Style is analytical again, evaluating the significance of Isabella's contribution. So, and we can find out the main idea in the third paragraph can be drawn as a Isabella's study provides a comprehensive analysis of Southern European revolutions, arguing that they were crucial to understanding the global revolutionary crisis and that they had a profound impact on political practices and societal changes in the region. So, all total, the overall tone of the passage is called as analytical, with a focus on detailed analysis and evaluation, and the style of the passage is nothing but a descriptive one. So, and the main idea that we can find out overall passage that what the revolutions in Southern Europe during 1820s were significant events within a global revolutionary context. They begin with the dissatisfied elites, involved extensive public participation, and had a lasting impact on political life in the region. Then we talk about the character called as Isabella Marijo. So, study highlights the unique aspect of these revolutions and their influence in liberalism and political practices in Southern Europe. Right. Now, we understood the passage clearly. Then we move to the question. What does the question ask here? Which of the following best weekends the claim that Southern European revolutions were driven by local elites? Now, on the basis of that, it is clearly asked that which of the following best weakens the claim that Southern European revolutions were driven by local elites. And the choices pointed the first one, evidence that the revolutions were primarily supported by rural, uneducated populations. Right. Second is indicated about accounts showing that the revolutions were mainly driven by foreign intervention. And third, stated instances where religious leaders rather than local elites initiated the revolution. And fourth said, documentation of widespread participation by urban working classes independent of elite influence. So, to answer this particular question, where it is asked about best weaken the claim, right? So we need to understand which option provides the strongest evidence against the idea, right? So when I say that against the idea that local elites were the main force behind the revolution in Southern Europe. So when I look at the first option suggests that the support base of the revolution was different from what was claimed, right? So it was not just local elite, but also rural uneducated people. However, it doesn't directly show that elites were not driving the revolution, just that other groups supported them. Fine. So similar to that, if we talk about two, so we also find out in this option highlights the role of foreign countries in the revolution. While it may complicate the story, it doesn't directly address or disprove the role of local elites in initiating or leading the revolution. Third, that indicates about or introduces the idea that religious leaders rather than local educated started the revolution. While this, you can say that weaken, right? This weakens the claim somewhat by suggesting another group was involved. It still recognizes some form of educated involvement, religious elites. And option four that indicates about what uh, it provides evidence that the urban working classes were involved in the revolution without the influence of leadership or local elites. This directly challenges the claim that local elites were the main drivers of the revolution. So, as it shows that important revolutionary actions were taken by another group. So, in that case, we can say option four would be the most appropriate, right? So, and that is the best choice because it provides evidence that the urban working classes were active, right, in the revolution on their own, which directly weakens the claim that the local elites were the primary drivers of the revolutions, isn't it? Hence, we can consider option 4 would be the correct answer here. Other options are means not apt to the question. So, although we find out option 3 is somehow claiming, but 4 is the best of all. So, hence, option 4 would be the correct answer here. Hope you understood the text as well as the question's answer. That's all. Thank you.